There are two species of players in this world. The first are the average, the biological fuel for the matrix. They spend their lives chasing a horizon of success while bound by rules they never wrote. The second are the architects, those who realize that the game isn't meant to be played, it's meant to be engineered. You likely believe your hard work makes you superior. It doesn't. Without a system, you are merely a more efficient servant. Consider the high-frequency traders who manipulate global markets in milliseconds while the average investor is still reading yesterday's news. They don't work harder, they operate on a different frequency entirely. As Robert Greene famously noted, if you do not have a strategy of your own, you are part of someone else's strategy. Today, we strip away the comforting lies of mainstream motivation. I am handing you the 15 protocols of financial sovereignty, structured into 3 cold tiers: survival level, expansion level, and sovereignty level. Most of you will close this video within minutes, retreating to the safety of your mediocrity. Excellent. The hierarchy requires a base. But for the few ready to become a genuine glitch in the system, let us begin. Level 1, the foundation. Protocol 1, invisible wealth. The average person is a peacock. They crave the gaze of others because without it, they feel non-existent. But in the world of true power, visibility is a target. The moment you broadcast your success, you invite the silent parasites of envy and the sharp eyes of the system. I've watched men celebrate a minor win on social media only to be dismantled by competitors who were watching their every move. Invisible wealth is the art of being a ghost with a bank account. As Sun Tzu whispered through time, appear weak when you are strong. While the masses wear their net worth on their sleeves, exposing their vulnerabilities to every predator in the room, the architect remains indistinguishable from the crowd. Understand this: a secret fortune is a fortress, but a public one is a cage. Embrace the silence. Let them pity your ordinariness, while you quietly acquire the ground they stand on. Protocol 2, the biological tax. Emotions are the glitches in your human hardware. The system loves your anger, your sadness, and your impulsive joy, because those feelings are expensive. Every time you spend money to feel better or make a business decision based on a grudge, you are paying a biological tax to the matrix. Look at the crowd around you. They are slaves to their dopamine loops, reacting like Pavlov's dogs to every notification and minor inconvenience. An architect views their mind as a cold, high-performance processor. If a feeling doesn't serve the bottom line, it is deleted. I once saw a brilliant trader lose everything because he wanted revenge on the market. The market didn't care, it simply liquidated him. To be more than human, you must be less reactive. Compare yourself to a cold algorithm. While the inferior masses are drowning in their feelings, you are calculating the next 3 moves in total frozen clarity. Protocol 3, the anti-consumer protocol. Luxury brands were not created for the rich. They were created for those who wish to look rich. They are the modern shackles, gilded in gold to make the prisoner love his chains. Every time you buy a status symbol to prove your worth, you are signaling to the elite that you are still a servant seeking validation. The architect realizes that a logo is a lure, and you are the fish. Why would you pay $1 billion corporation to become their walking billboard? It's a pathetic display of insecurity that the truly powerful find amusing. While the average man exhausts his capital to maintain a facade of success, the architect funnels every cent into assets that generate more leverage. One man owns a watch that tells time, the other owns the company that makes the watches. Ask yourself, are you the predator or are you the shiny bait? Protocol 4, strategic isolation. Loyalty to the stagnant is a suicide pact. Most people are anchors. They aren't just going nowhere. They are actively ensuring you don't go anywhere either. The matrix uses your friends and social circles to keep your frequency low, whispering that you're changing the moment you begin to evolve. Machiavelli understood that a prince must be willing to leave behind those who no longer serve the state's interest. If your inner circle consists of people who discuss other people rather than systems, you are already infected. It sounds cold because it is. You must be willing to liquidate relationships that provide no strategic yield. In the hierarchy of survival, an architect doesn't collect friends. They build alliances. While the inferior herd huddles together for warmth in their shared mediocrity, you must be comfortable standing alone in the cold of the summit. Protocol 5. Information diet. We live in an age of infobesity. The system keeps the masses distracted with a 24-hour stream of irrelevant noise, politics, celebrity scandals, and manufactured outrage, to ensure they never have the mental bandwidth to see the exit door. Your brain is a processor. If you feed it trash, it produces trash. The average person knows everything about a celebrity's divorce and nothing about their own debt-to-income ratio. This is not an accident, it is a design. To become a glitch, you must treat your attention as your most guarded resource. As the author Nassim Taleb suggests, avoid the news to find the truth. Delete the feed and replace it with intelligence. While the masses are lost in the fog of the digital circus, the architect is focused on the raw data of reality. To be superior, you must know what to ignore, silence the noise, or remain a part of it. Level 2. The expansion. In Level 1, you learned the art of the ghost. You learned to hide. Now, the architect begins to grow teeth. This is the transition from a defensive pawn to a strategic predator. We are no longer surviving the environment. We are re-engineering it to serve your ascent. Protocol 6. The protocol of amputation. Most people are paralyzed by the fear of letting go. They cling to every trivial task and low-value project as if their life depends on it. This is a peasant's mindset, the stench of scarcity. The architect understands the protocol of amputation. 80% of what you do is dead weight. I have seen brilliant minds burn out not from a lack of skill, but from a refusal to cut the tumors of mediocrity. To be superior, you must be a cold-blooded editor of your own existence. Identify the 20% of actions that generate your power and ruthlessly liquidate the rest. While the inferior masses brag about being busy, you must be surgical. If an activity offers no strategic yield, it is a parasite. Amputate the weak so the vital can dominate. Focus is not a choice, it is the violence of saying no. Protocol 7. Skill weaponization. The system loves well-rounded individuals. Why? Because they are easily replaced. A jack of all trades is merely a utility tool for the architect to use and discard. To escape the hierarchy, you must achieve skill weaponization. This is the process of forging a skill so rare and so sharp that the market has no choice but to pay your ransom. A general laborer is a brick. An architect with a weaponized skill is the cornerstone. While the average person spends years becoming good enough at 10 things, you must become dangerously elite at one. In a room of thousands, you must be the only solution to a high-stakes problem. When you are the only cure, you set the price of the medicine. Protocol 8. Digital arbitrage. The average person's smartphone is a leash, a digital collar used by the matrix to harvest their focus. They are the serfs of the attention economy, tilling fields that belong to someone else. The architect views technology as digital arbitrage. Your devices are not for entertainment. They are a remote control for an army of automated systems. While the masses are distracted by manufactured outrage, you are using algorithms to scale your influence. The difference is simple. You are either the one clicking or the one being clicked on. Compare your phone to a cockpit. Are you flying towards sovereignty, or are you just a passenger waiting for the crash? Protocol 9. The Council of Wolves. The herd seeks friendship to soothe their loneliness. The architect seeks strategic alliances to expand their reach. Machiavelli noted that a wise prince surrounds himself with those more capable than he is. If you are the smartest person in your circle, you are not in a network. You are in a trap. You are being drained by the inferior frequency of those around you. You must engineer your social environment like a board of directors. Every person in your inner sanctum should represent a strategic asset, capital, information, or leverage. I have walked away from decades-long friendships the moment I realized they were based on shared misery. It sounds heartless to the average person because they prioritize comfort over power. You, however, must prioritize the mission. The herd huddles for warmth. The architect curates a council of wolves. Protocol 10. The Trojan horse. To the desperate, every opportunity looks like a gift. To the architect, every gift is a potential Trojan horse. The system often throws golden handcuffs at those who show promise, a prestigious title or a comfortable partnership, specifically to neutralize them as a threat. These are distractions designed to keep you inside the walls. Never step into a gap that someone else has opened for you unless you've checked the floor for traps. I've seen masters trade their sovereignty for a 20% raise, never realizing they simply bought a more expensive cage. Before you say yes, ask, does this give me leverage, or does it give someone else control? While the inferior jump at every shiny object, the architect waits for the move that breaks the game. Level 3. The sovereignty. This is the final descent. Here, we cease the dialogue of survival. We no longer speak of growing within the matrix. We speak of owning the space you occupy. This is the stage where you become the architect, the one who writes the scripts that the masses unknowingly follow. Protocol 11. The sovereign reserve. Most people live in a state of quiet, desperate prostration. They whisper yes to superiors they despise, because they are exactly 3 missed paychecks away from total ruin. This is the financial guillotine, and the system keeps the blade sharpened just for the average man. The architect builds a sovereign reserve, not mere savings, but a freedom fund designed to withstand a year of total silence. I once watched a high-ranking executive grovel for his position because he had no reserve. He had the title, but he was a beggar in a tailored suit. To be superior, you must possess the capital that allows you to walk away from any table without a backward glance. When you do not need their currency, you are the only one in the room with real power. Protocol 12. The Perpetual machine. A goal is a trap for the short-sighted. The average man works toward $1 million or a promotion, and once he reaches it, he collapses because he has no direction for the day after. He is a hunter who starves after the first kill. The architect engineers perpetual machines. The truly wealthy do not labor for a finish line. They build systems that produce results whether they are awake or asleep. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Compare a goal to a single meal and a system to the farm that produces it. While the herd sweats for their next win, the architect sits back and watches the gears turn. Don't seek a win. Seek a mechanism that makes winning inevitable. Protocol 13. The strategic exit. The matrix is designed to be easy to enter and impossible to leave. The average man signs contracts and enters partnerships with the wide-eyed optimism of a child, never realizing he is walking into a cage. The architect never enters a room without knowing exactly how to exit it. This is strategic liquidity. Whether it is a business deal or a digital platform, you must have an emergency severance ready at all times. I have seen empires crumble because the founder was too attached to his creation to see the exit signs. You must be colder. To be superior, you must be willing to liquidate and move before the herd even senses the shift in the wind. The average man stays on a sinking ship out of loyalty. The architect is already on the shore, watching the horizon for the next vessel. Protocol 14. Controlled paranoia. Stability is an illusion created to keep the masses complacent. The average person believes that because today was calm, tomorrow will be the same. This cognitive blindness is why they are dismantled during every systemic shift. The architect lives in a state of controlled paranoia. This is not fear, it is intelligence. It is the realization that the system is inherently fragile and that a black swan is always lurking in the shadows. While the herd panics during a collapse, the architects who anticipated the fracture are busy acquiring the remains for pennies. You must always be looking for the crack in the wall. While the masses sleep in their security, you must be the one awake, calculating the cost of the collapse. Thrive in the chaos that consumes others. Protocol 15. Admin status. This is the final protocol, the realization that the matrix is not something to be feared, but something to be administered. Most people spend their lives looking for a leader or a guide, hoping someone else will define the meaning of their existence. This is the ultimate mark of an inferior mind. The architect accepts that there is no grand design other than the one they forge themselves. You are no longer a glitch trying to escape. You are the one who understands the code well enough to build your own reality. I no longer ask, what is the rule? I ask, who wrote it, and how do I replace them? While the masses fight over crumbs, the architect is busy building the bakery. You no longer play the game. You own the board. You have looked into the abyss of the system, and for the first time, the abyss has blinked. You now hold the 15 protocols. To the average man, this was merely entertainment, a dark thriller to be consumed and forgotten. To the architect, this is the manual for the only war that matters, the war for your own sovereignty. I have watched countless individuals consume this knowledge like high-calorie junk food, only to wake up tomorrow and obey the same masters they claim to hate. They believe that knowing the code is the same as breaking it. It isn't. Mediocrity is a comfortable prison. Most of you are choosing to stay in your cells because the sun outside is too cold. If you are still here, you are a variable the system failed to account for. You are a glitch. This channel is not a community for the weak. It is a repository for the few who refuse to be biological fuel. If you have the stomach to proceed, stay. If not, return to the herd. The hierarchy requires a base, and someone has to be at the bottom. The door is open. Whether you walk through it or just stare at the handle is a variable I cannot control. We will meet again at the summit, or I will see you in the crowd below. Dismissed.